I mean, that's a disaster. Tom Aspinall still can't see. He's up right eyeball still.
It's really bad, right?
The reality is he might not ever fight again. Like, who knows? Like, if he has surgery on his eye and it doesn't go well and he can't see out of the eye.
And just for everyone wants to know as well, obviously, you've been pretty clear in what you've said. Back to Cyril, but surgery now is the focus, and then we'll kick on to 2026, right?
That's the plan. That's the plan. By the time this is going out, they probably have had surgery on one side already. Next surgery's coming mid-January, so we're working towards getting back, and that's the plan.
Tom Aspinall might never fight again, and the heavyweight division could be walking toward a silent implosion. And nah, this can't be real. Because when that sentence hits your brain, it sounds insane until you rewind the tape and realize this disaster didn't explode. It leaked slowly, quietly, while everyone pretended it was manageable. And now here we are, with Joe Rogan casually saying the words nobody wanted to hear, and the entire UFC landscape suddenly feeling unstable and dangerous.
Apparently he's still up in his right eye. There's some tendon damage or something. And, you know, eyes are so tricky. You never know. Unless you're a complete psychopath like Michael Bisping, who fought 11 fights in the UFC blind in one eye, which is so crazy that he did that.
Joe Rogan didn't hint, he didn't speculate, he flat out suggested the heavyweight champion might never step into the octagon again. And if you think that's just podcast talk, you're already missing the plot, because Rogan doesn't throw career-ending language around unless something behind the curtain is deeply wrong. And the way he said it felt less like concern and more like acceptance, like someone already knows how this story ends, but isn't ready to say it yet.
We need to get back again, don't we?
Yeah, Tom needs to get healthy, lad, know what I mean? Wouldn't surprise me if Pereira did move up and he done an instant belt between Pereira and Gant.
Yeah, it'll be a good fight. I think it's a good stylistic match.
Yeah, it's a good stylistic fight.
We need to get back. We need to get back again, don't we?
Yeah, to get you back in the cage, lad. Now you sat out waiting that long and then you get poked in the eye. Like, it couldn't have went much worse, lad. And it me off people like, oh, he done it because he was getting beat. It was the first round.
Mate.
You're finding your range, you're both catching each other. What? Because
nothing happened. You've got to be very uneducated in MMA to say that.
You had a bloody nose and people like, oh, he done his nose. Like, never his nose was bleeding. That can happen off not even a jab. MMA fans are so fickle, lad.
I mean, it's sports fans in general, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sports fans in general.
Jump on and off bandwagons like that. Like, it's mad, lad.
This didn't start as some dramatic career threat. It started as one fight, one moment, one illegal eye poke against Cyril Gane that turned a routine heavyweight clash into a medical nightmare. And the scary part is how fast people brushed it off, because no contest sounds harmless on paper, but eye injuries don't care about records. And once vision gets compromised, you're no longer talking about camps or rankings, you're talking about life.
Tom's going to need, apparently, eye surgery. It'll probably just be a minor thing, like a realignment of the tendon, but things can go wrong. Joe is absolutely correct, 100% when he says that things can go wrong. My retina was reattached after it was detached against Vitor Belfort, and then it redetached, and then they fixed it again, and then I got glaucoma, because once you start messing around with the eyes, in fact, just like any part of your body, once you start going in and messing around with it, it's never the same again. It's never quite as strong, and things can go wrong. Now, medical science has improved.
People said it would be fine. They always do. Minor setback. Quick recovery, champion will be back soon. But Aspinall himself started telling a very different story. And when a fighter stops talking about training and starts talking about daily existence, that's when alarm bells should be screaming. Because vision issues don't heal on confidence or toughness, and I swear someone is downplaying how bad this really is.
But for Tom, fingers crossed, he'll be okay, right? Now, everyone that's come out of the woodwork, and if you just look at the comments of that tweet from Joe Rogan, that little clip, my God, there's some people out there, they don't know what they're talking about, man. This is the heavyweight champion of the world. He's not a duck. He's not trying to get out of a fight. He wants to come back and kick Cyril Gane. He put that in a tweet recently. The man's pissed off and I can't wait for the comeback. However, and this is the big however, will he need surgery? Has he had surgery? Does he need surgery? Will he need another surgery? Will there be complications? The one thing you can't do with an eye is rush back. That is the one big lesson that I learned, because I did that. I rushed back too soon. I rushed back to sparring. I rushed back to competition, right? And I never saw that eye again. So Tom has got to take his time. And if he's having surgery, he's definitely going to be out for at least a few months.
Aspinall confirmed surgery, and the moment surgery becomes the headline, the entire conversation changes, because eyes are not knees or shoulders, and the margin for error is brutal. And this is where Michael Bisping's shadow looms over everything, because he is living proof that you can be strong, brave, elite, and still lose everything by rushing back too soon. And that comparison alone should scare you.
Volk's going, isn't he? I think this is going to be Volk's
I've
last
heard
one.
people saying that Volks might retire after this fight because it's in Australia. But you don't know, do you? Well, people say that all the time and then they fight again.
I hope he does retire, and I'm the biggest Volk fan out there. I want him to retire. After
Yeah.
this. If he wins this one, leave it.
I think if I win though and he wins and I get upgraded to undisputed champ like you did, it wouldn't surprise me if he thinks that's the perfect opportunity
Oh no,
to win the
we don't,
lightweight belt.
we don't want two mates
I
fighting
don't
each
know,
other.
I don't want to fight Volk, lad. I proper like Volk. But you probably look at it and think that's my best chance to become lightweight champ, beating Paddy.
Bisping didn't lose his eye in one moment, he lost it in stages, surgery after surgery, comeback after comeback, each one fueled by pressure and belief that he could push through it. And that's the terrifying parallel here, because Aspinall is a champion and champions feel responsibility. And responsibility convinces you to ignore warning signs that normal people would never risk. And now that path never ends well.
Obviously hits hard, he's got a puncher's chance. Any MMA fight, we know that it's a very dangerous fight. But I think if they fight 100 times, I think Volkanovski wins 95. That's my opinion. I believe Volkanovski comes out with it. He fights a smart fight again.
When Bisping tells you to slow down, it's not advice, it's regret speaking, because he's openly admitted rushing back was the biggest mistake of his career. And if Aspinall makes the same call, history won't care how unfair it is, it will repeat itself anyway. And there's a quiet fear right now that the UFC needs him more than his eye needs rest, and that imbalance is dangerous.
Or Mofsar, like one of the, or so it's not clear that Aaron does, but or even Mofsar. But Diego Lopez, man, he's an entertainer and people watch him.
Yeah, I can get on board if that's the logic, if they're going for pure entertainment factor. I'm curious what their conversation with Volkanovski is like, even though he said he'd be willing to do this fight and he's always down to fight everyone, but I'd be like, I literally just beat this guy like earlier this year. What point is he proving? Like, are we gonna think of Volkanovski's legacy any differently if he wins this fight again? Sure, we might think it differently if he loses, but if he wins it again, does it do anything for him?
No, it doesn't, but it will do a lot for Diego Lopez if he wins.
Sure, but
You know what I mean?
how's that a selling point to Volk?
It'll do a lot for Diego Lopez if he wins. So Volk is I actually think Volk is in a no-win situation here. In a way, he's in a no-win situation, because if he wins, hey, you just beat this guy last year. Yeah. And if he wins, you say, yeah, but there's two other guys that probably deserve it more than he does.
Do you think this will be Volkanovski's final fight? It's all there, 37 years old. He said his family wanted him to retire after the last one. He's been open about that. It's back in Sydney. He hasn't fought there in 3 years. I don't know. It feels like the stage is kind of set here.
I think if he loses, this might be it for him.
Then things get even stranger when Aspinall, while dealing with his own potential career crisis, starts talking about Alexander Volkanovski like a man looking into a mirror, suggesting retirement, suggesting walking away on top. And you don't say things like that unless you're processing your own mortality in the sport. And that's where this story starts bleeding into other divisions.
Probably think like, oh, Demetrius and Lerone, well, you have every reason to be mad, but think that Diego Lopez, or hating that I'm mad that he got it. I would say I'm not mad. I just wanted to make sense, right? Like I've been in your shoes before, right? Like I've defended the belt so many times. I see the guy who's next in line. You know, Joseph Benavidez. After I knocked him out, I beat him in in Toronto. He goes on a 5-fight win streak. He gets the next title shot. John Dodson, I beat him. He goes on a 5-fight win streak. Nowadays it's like, lose to the champion, you go get one fight and you come back like you're already back in the title shot, right? It's same thing. You know, you look at Peter Yan, he just fought Merab. He took him 3 years. 3 years to get back a title shot, right? It's like it's almost like, you know, that's why we talk about Dana White privileges, right? It's like how, like if they want to just say he's way more popular than you guys. He's getting a shot. That's why he's getting a shot. Just way more popular. I don't know if this man's on a 20 fight win streak. He's way more popular. Come out and say that. That way the fans can understand. Like, hey, dog, you got it.
Yeah, we know what's what.
We know what's what. Don't tell me that's a cat. Don't show me a cat and say it's a shark. Like, don't do that to me, right? And that's why I feel like I have this big battle with this. Was like, I'm not hating on Diego Lopez. I just want to make it make sense.
Volkanovski at 37, back in Sydney defending against Diego Lopes again, family watching, history heavy in the air, feels like one of those moments the sport later points to and says that was the night everything changed. And if you don't feel that tension, you're not paying attention, because this fight has ending written all over it, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. Aspinall saying he doesn't want to see Volkanovski fight Paddy Pimblett isn't random, it's discomfort. It's instinct. It's someone sensing that matchups are being driven by forces other than legacy, and here's the thing nobody wants to say out loud. The UFC doesn't need Volkan to win this fight, and that should terrify anyone who respects what he's done. Lerone Murphy being passed over after doing everything right exposes the real fracture, because when undefeated fighters with highlight knockouts get ignored, the message is clear even if nobody says it. Merit is optional, excitement is mandatory. And I keep thinking there's a conversation happening behind the scenes that fans are never meant to hear, and it's uglier than people think. Murphy himself saying Volkanovski wins 95 out of 100 times makes the rematch feel even more suspicious, because if the outcome is that predictable, why run it back unless the goal isn't competitive fairness? And once you accept that possibility, the entire title picture starts to look like a chessboard where some pieces are protected and others are sacrificed. Demetrius Johnson calling the UFC an entertainment product wasn't bitterness, it was clarity, because when fighters like Murphy and Movsar Evloev are waiting while others leapfrog the line, it confirms a pattern we've seen before, and the comparison to Sean O'Malley getting special treatment isn't accidental, it's evidence, and someone is absolutely lying about how these decisions are made. All of this circles back to Aspinall, because while divisions argue about popularity and legacy, a heavyweight champion might be fighting for his career outside the cage. And if he rushes back, if pressure wins, the UFC doesn't just lose a fighter, it loses trust. And trust, once broken, doesn't heal like bone. And yeah, that part scares executives more than they admit. Nothing here is resolved, nothing feels stable, and every update sounds like it could flip the sport overnight. Because Aspinall's eye, Volkanovski's future, and the UFC's priorities are colliding in real time. And if you think this story is finished, you're already behind, because something is being hidden, something feels rushed, and when things go quiet like this, that's usually when everything explodes.